Hey YouTubers, Electric Adventures here, sit down mode, because this is my 128 subscriber special. Now it's a little late because I've been away on holidays, and I was on 127 subscribers before I went away, and now I'm 137, so it leaped up quite a bit. Maybe I should not make videos for a little while on purpose, but anyway, no, the regular videos will be coming out, my pickups, and more importantly my exploring tutorials. I've been scripting those and writing a bit of, because it requires writing a bit of code and everything like that, working through to something that you'll get out of it if you want to work through each one. I'll be doing those on a number of different systems. But anyway, here is an updated room tour, so you can see where my collection is at. Okay, here we go with my room tour. So I have a double garage, not all totally devoted to my lair. There are some, shall we say, kid play corner over there, and there's a few comfy chairs in the middle, and a pool table up the back there. But it has changed a bit from my last video. So I work at home for a bank, and here's my my desk space here. So I use quite a powerful laptop with dual screens for doing my primary work. Laser printer. Now I said I'm just going to do the room sequentially here. So here we have a whole bundle of Amiga and Atari ST manuals, books and programming guides. That bit's mainly PC stuff, and up here I have my programming books for the MSX machines, and a couple of iPhone books there as well. Now you'll see various 3 1/4 floppies littered all around this room, because I actually have quite a lot of them for all different systems, and tidying them up is a constant process. Now here I have another desktop with dual screens and a PC, and that's actually where I get another fellow to come in and do some subcontract work for me occasionally. And then we move round to one of the prides of my collection, which is a working Vectrex machine. Also, you can currently see what I'm sorting through. These are Amiga discs, and I'm sorting through which ones work and which ones don't. I've got about 500 of them that I've picked up recently, and it takes quite a time to sort. Now the Vectrex I have with the wonderful multi-cart in the side, so you just pick on the dip switches which game you want to play. Currently set to Scramble, my favourite game on the system. Other than obviously junk and wire corning, which actually needs to be cleaned up, and perhaps put in baggies and labelled and things like that. So I actually do intend on doing that shortly, because I've actually got to find some cables for a system I want to sell. So over here I have 2 external hard drives for the Amiga 500. One definitely works, the other one not 100% sure. I think it might need a new actual hard drive, so just more drawers for stuff. Now then we get to the systems. Well, of course I can't forget my own software titles, so there they are. Right, so sitting on top of here we have a Sinclair ZX Spectrum Plus 2 tape, and that works really well. There's a Sinclair joystick plugged in over there. Sitting underneath it is my TRS-80 Color Computer 1. Atari Leaf sent me a cassette cable for that recently, and I still need to fix this enter key which is stuck down. Just haven't had time to take that one apart. Down here I have one of my favourite machines I picked up lately, which is the Acorn Electron, which I'm doing an exploring series on. And underneath that is my original Spectravideo MSX Express machine, so 738 Express it was called, and one of the games I play on it, which is Nemesis down there. Let's move some joysticks over. So I have the tape player, and I have a SCART switch box there, which all has video out, so I'm hoping I need a video capture card, and I should be able to go from the video out from here to a video capture card to get better screenshots for when I'm testing out the computer games. Then I have the versatile Amiga 1081 monitor, which has both RGB and SCART input. So it allows me through the video recorder to do the RF type devices like this one, direct video and RGB video from the various things. Although I was actually trying to clear the pile of videotapes that was sitting in front of this cabinet, and the actual video player part of it stopped working. But as far as that, it's still switching okay. I just need to take it apart and see what's going on. Now I have my MSX 2 machine. So it's got 256k of RAM, although this one has been upgraded to 1000k of RAM and has the 7 MHz switch, which is this additional switch that's been added here. It's got 2 good working floppy drives here, and here's the external keyboard. I've actually got a second one of these that unfortunately was dead on arrival, but I hope to fix one day. Underneath that I have my Amiga 1200 with a 40 did I say gig for that? But anyway, 40 meg hard drive. That works really well. And underneath that I have the better of my 2 Amiga 500s. There's an external floppy underneath there. You can see the thumping big Acorn Electron power supply back there. A joystick plugged into the Amiga, so it's all very cramped, but it all works and it's all hooked up. Now over here we have my Commodore 64 C that I picked up recently. I am missing one spring, and unfortunately you have to I bogged this key up with blue tack when I use the machine, otherwise it falls down and interrupts. The 6 key was originally missing the spring, but it's easier to have that one missing. But that works. Other than that, that works perfectly. I have the floppy drive, I have a bit of software that came with it. Now underneath that I have an Atari 1040 STE, and that is hooked up to a Megafile 44, so it's a removable hard drive. I've only got the one cartridge though, and the Atari monitor. Now the Ataris are very fussy about their refresh rates, so that's why you have to have another monitor just for that system. Now up here I have my first of my Atari 8-bit line 130XE system. It's going to be hooked up here to either the RGB or the composite. And power supply is all down there, so that one's working. Alright, over in this corner, which is a new addition to the lair, now it is a bit hemmed in by other stuff that I'm sliding up, is part of my collectible stuff. So this is my Star Wars Lego. I collected all of the original movie Lego sets. I have all of the Babylon 5 script books, including the signed one by JMS. There's a few more computer books there, and all of my older PC games. And there's quite a few down in that corner, and some more books. And as you can see, I do have quite a few floppy disks for the Amiga and the ST that I'm slowly sorting through. So, alright, we'll move over to the other side of the room. This is just one of the PC systems, or retro computer systems I missed earlier. So it's an Amstrad CPC 464, really big long unit. I've got a special cable so I can use the Spectrum Plus 2 power supply. It does not have RF out though, so until I have a chance to buy the AV cable, which will actually fit the Spectrum Plus 2 as well, I can't actually get that one to obviously output on the monitor, but it turns on and looks like it works, and it came from a reliable source, the same as the Electron, and is in good nick. So I am interested in getting that one working so I can have a go at the R-Type on it. Okay, we have a small stack of older hardware. This is the Spectra Video 318 machine, so this is before the MSX, and this is the expansion unit, which the unit itself works, but the floppy disk drives are a bit needed repair. The lights come on but they don't quite work, it just needs a bit more work. Above that I have my original Amiga 1000 and it's got a memory expansion there. That works perfectly, but it's much easier to use at least the 500, which you don't have to use a kickstart disc. Oh, down there's the tape player for the original Spectra Video with its custom interface. Caveat being it's got complete motor control over the cassette and everything like that. Now up here we have, that's the power supply for the 318, that's the power supply for the Texas Instruments TR-99-4A, which is in boxed there. That one works, although it obviously needs some capacitors worked on, because it you can probably only have it turned on for about 20 minutes. and then it goes off. So I don't have it plugged in all the time, so I don't make it worse. Now, well, before I do that, I've got a few boxes from a few things up there, and there are like there's an IntelliVoice module up in the box there, and my Atari 400 boxed is up there as well. I showed the inside of that in a really recent video, so I won't open it up. I have another, so this is a Spectre Video graphics tablet. It works with the original Spectre Videos, but you can also get it to work with the MSX machines. And here is another full, complete boxed 738 computer. Although it does need a drive replacing it. Right, now to the actual, the next section are mainly console stuff. So we've got my Mega Drive titles, of which I have a few. I mean, I've picked up lots, and individual ones I've mainly concentrated on getting shoot 'em ups, which is what I enjoy the most. So, you know, I've got the Thunder Force series, Turrican Counts as a shoot 'em up there. Sorry, I've had a cold for a few days. You've got Mazin Wars and Sector X and Hellfire and Gurnog, and Fire Shark, of course. Probably have some others there. Now they've spilled over onto a new shelf there, and I've got a couple of boxes a bit daggy, but I've got a couple of 32X games there. Don't have a 32X as yet. I will pick up one eventually. And then you have the start of my Sega Saturn collection, PAL, and obviously with Australian hard cases, and that's going along nicely. Now none of these are in, you know, like mint or anything condition, but they all work. I have a few here. They're either duplicates or I'm having trouble getting working, which is MechWarrior 2 and Nights into Dreams. That's right, yeah, Space Hulk I could get working in the end. Then you have not all my PlayStation 2 titles, but mainly the ones I play that the kids haven't pinched and taken inside. We've got 3 PlayStations. So here's some more titles, some more, and a few more. Then down here you have what consists of my SNES titles. So PAL SNES, we have Dungeon Master, Cricket, Darius, which is in the machine all the time, it's the one I play, Super Star Wars, and Empire Strikes Back. I have the boxes and no games because they got stolen at one stage. And we have the 2 American SNES games I picked up recently, Raiden Trad and Prince of Persia. Then we have part of my Lynx items. We're still missing, yeah, I've got the box to Gauntlet, but I can't find the card at the moment. All the rest are complete. Toki's a really good game. Lynx is a really good handheld console, so I've owned that since new. Then up here I've got some of the Sinclair Spectrum software, and that's not the Sinclair Spectrum one, that's R-Type for the Amstrad. And actually I've realised I've missed a computer in the other part of the tour, I'll fix that shortly. We have some more Spectrum software here, and hiding there is my one real Vectrex cartridge, and even a ZX80, so that's Electron title, and so there it is, and that's for the ZX81 there, so a bit of a mishmash of software. Then we go to my Intellivision titles. So I do actually have most of my Intellivision titles boxed, so there's some there and some more there, and the boxes aren't in too bad condition. We've got a couple of loose thanks to Intellivision Dude, he sent those through recently. And I do actually have a couple of things. So B17, yeah, B17 bonding, which he also sent me, must be actually in the Intellivision. There's the overlays for it. Oh no, there it is. It's sitting in the IntelliVoice. All right, I am running low on batteries, so we'll quickly get through the Master System stuff, and then we might have to pause. So these are the Master System titles. They aren't alphabetical orders, but I haven't started in the right spot. So the collection's coming along nicely. Everett 46% or 42%, depending which list you count. So the worldwide list, I'm on 42%. On the power list, I'm on 46.8. And we do have one guitar there for Guitar Hero. The girls mainly play that, but they usually play it out here. So some really good titles on the Master System. That's my primary collection, so I'm trying to get a full set. And that's coming along nicely. Alright, now we move into with a little stereo unit there, and then we have my Game Gear titles. Now what I might do is pause now, and I'll open some of these boxes individually and take some footage, and I'll charge the battery in the meantime. Okay guys, here's my Game Gear collection so far. So I've actually managed to pick up 4 good condition boxed ones, and then we have a few assorted loose titles. A couple of them are quite rarer than others, and there's some nice titles there. I have won another auction, and there's my Game Gear. It's non-functional, doesn't seem to make any sound so far, and you just get a vertical line on the screen. I haven't had a chance to take it apart and see whether I can have a look at some of the capacitors and things, although I've got nothing to test the capacitors. But that's my Game Gear collection so far. Right, and this is my Game Boy collection, only very small again, but there's some good titles there. Obviously one of the girls' titles there. We do actually have quite a few Game Boy Advance games, but they're all, say, shall we say, young girl titles. So most of these ones that are sitting in the box are ones I've got, which are mainly arcade ports. Obviously my R-Type, getting as many consoles as possible. One Star Wars one there. And 2 units, an Advance and a Game Boy Color, and a light mag. It's one of the rarer items in my collection of retro computers. This is a Newton message pad, the second model, and we have a battery recharge back in box and a portable modem. I haven't got all the cables and everything out. We have a nice leather portfolio case and spare touch stick. That all works. So an interesting and good item to add to the collection. Okay, now these consoles aren't necessarily wired up all the time, but they could be easily, like the GameCube can go straight into where the Super NES is, which we'll get to in a minute. We have my Australian PAL NES, which have had a fair bit of problem with. I've actually cut the unlock chip and replaced the connector, but it's still very temperamental. We've got my original Xbox, which has also had a sorry, the sticky stuff's come off it, a mod done to it. Down here we have my original Xbox titles, and I only got a few there. I don't really collect the Xboxes, pick up games like, obviously I've got the Halo series which I like, and Half-Life 2 and a Star Wars game there. And then we've got some GameCube games, which I've owned since new, mainly all Star Wars titles, and anybody who owns a GameCube needs to have Luigi's Mansion. Some more Medal of Honor games, you would have noticed them in my PS2 collection as well, and a James Bond game there. Just coming back, so this is the actual setup of the nice big TV. We have new switch, electronic switch. The PS2, which isn't plugged in because I use the PS1 is plugged, which isn't plugged in because I use the PS2 to play those games, and the PC Engine sits up there mainly because it's small and its cords are short, so I usually just plug it in when I go to play it. But the electronic switch box is awesome. Thoroughly recommend those. Now down the bottom, to keep the dust off them, I've got a few consoles. So we have, hiding in there, we have the Model 1 Master System. It's plugged in using an AV connector. I've got a digital box for tuning into the TV, watching the cricket of course. The PS2, which I use a fair bit. We've got Atari 7800, which is obviously RF. We've got my working Intellivision and my ColecoVision. And ColecoVision works, but you do have to usually turn, once you put a game in, turn it on and off about 5 times before it works. Now up here we have another one of my Atari 8-bit systems. This is the Atari XE system, as it's called. So this was the similar-ish time to the 130 and 65 XE, but when they were selling it more as a game system. So in Australia we more got these and we never got the 5200, but it does use exactly the same cartridges as the 8-bits, so you don't need different cartridges. That's my arcade stick for my PC Engine, which is one of my most played consoles. Let me just give you a close-up on that, obviously with R-Type in it. Then we have the SNES, so all these consoles here are all wired into the AV selector. So we've got the SNES there, currently with Darius Twin in it. We've got the Nintendo 64, and that's got Mario Kart in it, because pretty much that's what kids play out here. And then we have one of my more recent console editions, which is my Sega Saturn, and that's all properly AV connected up now, and I got new lithium battery for it, and it works fine. Does occasionally, once it gets warm, it has a couple of little issues, but I think it's with the on-off power switch, so I probably need to take it apart and just clean the connectors on that. Now in here we have my Model 1 Mega Drive with Hellfire in it, another game I play on a regular basis, and one of my arcade Power Stick 2s. They are quite simply one of the best controllers for the Mega Drive. Now I have some form of Action Replay 2 here. Now I haven't had any success in getting any of the Asian cartridges, because it allows you to plug in any cartridge shape, to still work on that, but so this actual Action Replay might be faulty, so I don't know. Now down here, so I've got cables in the way now, we have my PSP collection. So I've actually got quite a few PSP titles. I've also got spare cases. If you ever have a problem with a PSP game not working anymore, you can buy these cheap, they're like $1 each, free postage from China, and you just take the old case off and put the new one on and they'll work. It's because it's usually a crack in them. I'll show you the one I replaced here that's causing either the disc to not spin. So this one, it doesn't look like there's anything wrong with it, but the disc would not work in this case. Oh, there we go, it's got an actual scratch on the plastic there, and it just wasn't allowing the disc to spin properly. Now they're the two titles that Mame Kate sent me for winning his competition. I've got a few U&D videos in there as well, and lots of DS games, and they're pretty much all girl games. Now moving over here, we have the rest of my Atari 8-bit cartridges, and I have quite a few of those now, which is excellent. Still wanting to get more of those. I've moved some of those into the box now too. So Thunder Fox, Iridium clone that's virtually impossible to play, Whisper and Factless, Lode Runner, Necromancer, Bug Hunt, Gato, Archon, Flight Simulator, and that's Decathlon, that one. I do have some more Atari 8-bit ones in boxes. Just let you have a quick look there. So boxes aren't in the best of condition, but it's nice to have some with boxes. Then we have my Atari 7800 collection so far. Now I did get a couple recently that are NTSC ones. So that was Tower, Toppler, and I think Cracked. Both of those don't work on my 7800 because they're NTSC and obviously can't handle the different refresh rate. Now in here we have my ColecoVision cartridges that I have so far, and my original PC Engine controller. So I've got a couple in boxes. One with no side label there is Pit Stop. But they've got quite a few good cartridges there. That's Centipede, that one's got no label. So ColecoVision cartridges, like Atari 2600 cartridges, suffer from label rot. So these are my PC Engine titles. So got a couple of loose there. I've got 6 loose ones here, which I got with it when I won it on auction. There's a couple of good games in there. Then I've got the ones that I've bought since. So we have Alien Crush, I think it is, the pinball game. That is really awesome. Dungeon Explorer, bit of a gauntlet role-playing game. Obviously R-Type 1, R-Type 2, and a really good game. I got this pretty cheap, Galaga 88. Got a lot of play value out of that. Then we have my 4 Neo Geo CDs. Now I don't have a Neo Geo CD system yet, hoping to get one at some stage. And then we have my PS1 titles. Now I had a lot more of these when I had my original PS1, but unfortunately they went with it. I did manage to get R-Type Delta recently. That's a really good version of R-Type. Then we move up into more Nintendo section. So we have a few Nintendo 64 boxes. The only one that I actually have the game for here are these two. Those two empty boxes, because Nintendo 64 was one of the ones stolen. But I have managed to pick up GoldenEye, Madden, Banjo-Kazooie, and Mace the Dark Brothers, and obviously the Mario 64, which is in the machine. So I am missing some good games that I used to have. I used to have all of the Star Wars ones. These are my NES titles. Now that's actually an American one, and there's an American one there and there. And I've worked out, so I've got a few more loose up there, some good games there, and I've even got a couple of boxed ones. And I've worked out with, let's grab one of those. This is Gradius, Australian ones have a little A here, so that's PAL one, whereas, and I know they're both Australian, so this is American, no A. But obviously all of those will work on both systems because I've cut the unlock-up chip. Then we come to my 2600 collection. Now I've got quite a few box ones for an auction I picked up probably in the last 3 months, and they're in quite good condition. Some really good titles there. This Indy 500 is my original box one. The rest of them are all from that other auction. Let's move that out of the way. Then we've got quite a few loose 2600 cartridges, which is how most people collect them and how I'm collecting. I'm not trying to in any way, shape or form trying to get a full set of those in boxed, but if I see box ones for a reasonable price I pick them up. And then in here we have my Neo Geo Pocket Color. Sorry, the black bits are just from that carry case, which is in excellent condition. Currently it has Metal Slug First Mission sitting in it, and I have quite a few. I've got 24 games for it. They're in another box which we'll get to as we go around the shelf a little more. Alright, up here we have my Amiga original box software titles. Obviously I've got a lot of loose copied software there as well. Don't leave stuff all over my shelves. So there's the box for the Neo Geo Pocket. This is the original stuff I have for the Texas Instruments TI-99 4A. So I've got Terminal Emulator, Parsec, showed it in one of my videos, TI Invaders, that's Advanced Basic. These are all user group magazines for the Texas Instruments. Then we have a few original handbooks for the Newton. Now in this one, Neo Geo Pocket, I have quite a few really good Neo Geo Pocket games, all came in the one auction, and they're actually all really good games. I haven't actually managed to play all of them yet, but I've got 24 of those. I've got an empty spare box there for storage. We've got a couple of, I've been gradually getting out of storage. I used to get computer and video games, and this is the One Retro Gamer magazine that I have that One MSX to Go sent me. Now here we have my second Panasonic, or sorry, Philips NMS 825. I mean, it's 6 on there. Now this has been upgraded to an MSX2 Plus, and with the overclock chip in it, so it goes to 7 megahertz and 512 RAM. But unfortunately, that one has never worked. It was dead on arrival. And then you have my Japanese MSX machine, Sony, which is pretty much brand new, but I had a power supply problem with it, but it probably is fixable, and other than that it is brand spanking new, not a scratch on it, just a bit of dust and stuff like that. So all very good stuff. That's the external keyboard for the Philips. This Philips has always been very banged up. And then down here we have my colour computer software, so I have a few cartridges, some original in box, and some tape software. And this is the cassette cable that Atari Leaf sent me recently, but I've got to fix the key on the keyboard first before I can use those. Then we have my MSX software titles, pretty much all on tape back there. And then we have a few cartridge titles, and a couple of boxed. So I do have a couple of extra copies of Minder on tape for MSX if anybody's after some MSX games. And that is King Kong 2 and Salamander, which is a really, really hard game, but an excellent shoot 'em up. Xenon, which I picked up recently, is really good, and a few manuals for the Spectre Video 738. Now down here we have my Atari ST original software, so it's all my development software, a few games, and more productivity software. I used to use this machine a lot for producing my magazine that I used to publish. And coming around a little bit further, one more piece of Lego, and these are all of my trade spares for the Master System in front of my science fiction books. Just do a bit of a pan over. If you see anything there, I am going to do a trade video because I actually have a lot, and I've got a drawer full of Sega Mega Drive titles, Asian ones that are swaps, and a few other things, and a couple of NES titles as well. I do have one Game Gear trade at the moment, which is just a loose steeped up truckle. So I hope you've all enjoyed my updated room tour. I hope I didn't miss out on anything too drastic, or this is too long. And just a great big thank you to all of the people who've subscribed to me so far, and the support I've received in the community, in people who've shouted me out, and the good friends that I've made so far, and I hope to make some more. I really do enjoy the social element of YouTube and how it's allowed to allow me to meet up with other people with similar hobbies. So alright, this is me signing off for this time, and I'll catch you in another video shortly.